Hey guys, I had a vision a couple of weeks ago that was pretty amazing. I had been researching Revelation 3 and how it talks about those who claim to be Jews but are not, and it had me wondering who the real Jews are then. And so I prayed about it and I got an answer almost immediately. It's kind of amazing. Jesus opened up a book, which I always know is the Bible, and he showed me a verse that was on the far right-hand side of the page, toward the bottom. Excuse me. And it looked like, I looked at it to try to see what book it was, and it looked like I got the information that it was Jeremiah 8:21. So the next day I went and I got my big Bible because he showed me a few scriptures in my big Bible. And so I opened up my big Bible to see if Jeremiah 8:21 would land at the far right-hand side toward the bottom of the page, and it didn't. So then I went to open up my King James version because my big Bible is a New International Version. So I went to my King James version, which is a smaller Bible, and sure enough, Jeremiah 8:21 lands on the right page in the right-hand column at the very bottom of the page. And this is what it says. It says, "For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I am black. Astonishment has taken hold on me." So I looked in the concordance, and that word, it means black, black-skinned, but it also means mourning. And so, like in the New International Version, in my big Bible, it says, "I am in mourning." But I think there's a reason why he showed me that the verse was in the far right-hand side of the page in the right-hand column toward the bottom, because that's exactly how it is in my King James Version. That tells me he wants me to look at the King James Version for some reason. And I think it's obvious why, because it says, "I am black." And I believe, I'm completely convinced that he's telling me that the original Israelites were African. So I did some more research into that. And in Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, "The Lord will send you back in ships to Egypt on a journey I said you should never make again. There you will offer yourselves for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you." Okay, so it's talking about the Israelites being sent to Egypt on ships. Okay. It also says in Exodus 12:40 that the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was 430 years. So first of all, I mean, they're coming out of Egypt. Obviously, Egypt is in Africa. They're African. But the 430 years, where do we find that? So if we look at the year that the African slaves first arrived in what would be the United States, right here, this is Wikipedia, it says, "The first enslaved Africans arrived in what is now the United States as part of the San Miguel de Guadalupe colony, founded by Spanish explorer," this guy right here, "in 1526. So the colony was founded in 1526. That was when they brought the African slaves over, because it tells us right here on October 18th, 1526, the slaves escaped and went to seek refuge among the local Native Americans. So if you add 430 years, you end up with 1956, and I'll just show you right here. So 1526 plus 430 years gives us 1956. And what happened in 1956? The United Nations Supplementary Convention on the Abolition of Slavery happened in 1956. So I thought that was just pretty amazing. And then when you consider the fact that we've had the fulfillment of Daniel Daniel 9:25, and let me see if I can find the right chart here so I can show you. We've had 3 fulfillments in 2012, but this isn't the one that I want to show you. I want to show you this one right here. So the fact that Obama is the fulfillment of Daniel 9:25 actually is starting to make more sense now, because Obama, I mean, as you know, Obama is African American. He's African. He was born in America. I mean, I know that's disputed, but he's African American. He's the first African American president. We can all agree on that. He's the first African American president of the United States. So that's a really big event. And in Daniel 9:25 it says, from the going forth of the decree until Messiah will be 7 Shabuah and 62 Shabuah. Well, the word Shabuah, it'll say weeks in your King James, but that word is Shabuah, the Hebrew word. And Shabuah means 7, and it also means Pentecost. It also means a period of 7. But 7-7, and so from 1947 when that decree went forth to restore Israel, 7 after that Obama was born, and 62 Pentecost after that. It was the first year of his presidency when he won the Peace Prize. So this is not 7 times 7. That's what it could be, 7 periods of 7 years, because there's 3 different definitions of the word Shabuah. The first definition is just 7. It's a singular 7. The next definition, I'll show you just real quick. Okay, so here it is right here. Here's this word. It should be 7 and 62. So 7 weeks and 62 weeks. And this word weeks is Shabuah. So you can see it means a singular 7. It can also mean a period of 7, and it can also mean the Feast of Weeks, which is Pentecost. So a singular 7 right there. It's not 7 sevens. It can be 7 sevens. It can be 7 periods of 7, which is 7 times 7. That's what 7 times 7 is. But it can also mean a singular version of the 7, which would be 7 plus 7. So we go back here and we look at this. You can see that 7 plus 7 years after that decree went forth, Obama was born. And 62 Pentecost after that was the first year of his presidency and the year he won the Peace Prize. So it makes sense when you start to realize all of these other just bizarre coincidences that we all know Obama looks identical to Akhenaten. That's been going around the internet for years. But we also know that there's this guy who wrote this book, Moses and Akhenaten. You can go check this out. This is a guy that wrote it. And he says, after doing all this research, that he believes that Akhenaten was Moses. So we have Obama looks like Akhenaten, and we have Akhenaten is Moses. Then we have the fulfillment of Daniel 9:25 with Obama in the United States, which is spiritual Egypt, because that was where the Israelites were brought here and kept in bondage for 430 years. Then we have, I'm sorry, my computer is extremely slow. Then we have Exodus 40, which says, on the first day of the first month shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony. So you're putting in the ark of the testimony on the first day of the first month, setting up the tabernacle and putting the ark of the testimony. That's Moses there, and that's the first day of the first month. So that sounds a lot like what happened on August 2nd, 2012, when the steel beam that Obama signed was placed in the One World Trade Center. The One World Trade Center was being set up just like the tabernacle, and the steel beam that Obama signed was placed in the One World Trade Center, just like the ark was placed in the tabernacle. The tabernacle was set up and the ark was placed in the tabernacle. The One World Trade Center was being set up and the steel beam was placed inside. Okay, so it's a really bizarre coincidence, that this 1290 days landed right here. This happened 1290 days after Obama took the oath of office in 2009. And then the 1335th day landed on the Feast of Trumpets. That were everybody blessed are those who were longing for and waiting for, longing for and reaching for that day, the Feast of Trumpets 2012. Then we had the fulfillment of Revelation 12, 1 through 5 right here. So 3 months in a row we had these fulfillments. So that being like the first day of the first month, it's so similar to what's going on with Moses. We got Akhenaten is Moses, then we've got Obama looking identical to Moses. I mean, this is just getting really just bizarre. And so 7 months, we know that the 7th month, the first day of the 7th month is trumpets. So if this is the first day of the first month, which is what we just read in Exodus 40, the first day of the first month, tabernacle set up and the ark placed inside. The first day of the first month, then the first day of the 7th month would be right here. And this is a full moon, by the way. So that landed right there. So then, of course, we had 3 fulfillments. So then we would have 3 Feasts of Trumpets, so to speak, if you count 7 months from these 3 fulfillments. They're major fulfillments that happen. And so in this other chart right here, and anybody that wants to know what this chart is, by the way, please check the links, because I keep getting these questions. And there's links. Please look at the links just below my video. There's just a ton of explanations. It explains everything, what all of this means, how I know that this has really happened. I go into extreme detail in those videos. So I have several videos in the description box below this video. So just go down there, click show more, and it'll give you all the links if you have any questions, because I don't have time to answer everybody's question. The links are there. If you go, it's all explained there. But this is what it was. So if you count that the first day of the first month, then trumpets was right here, and then atonement was right here. That was that 8.0 quake. First day of Sukkot would be here. That was when the Pope made his announcement. The 7th day of Sukkot would be right here. That's when the meteorite struck Russia. And if you count 7 months from this date right here, I mean, you guys know what this is. We had the Pope's election right here on what would have been trumpets, and then we had Obama in Israel, literally 1,260 days after he won the Peace Prize in 2009. And then 1,260 days after that trip to Israel, literally in the 20th through the 22nd, from the 20th until August 31st, 2016 is 1,260 days again, right before a solar and lunar eclipse. So, I mean, it's all very compelling. And, I don't know what all of this means. I'm just trying to figure it out with the rest of you guys. So I just wanted to share with you that vision that I had, because I just think it's really important. And it explains a lot. It explains it just adds adds some clarification to why all of this, why these fulfillments are happening in the United States, why it's happening here. I mean, obviously, I'm not the one creating these fulfillments, and I don't have all the answers, but I think that this brings some more clarity as to why these scriptures are being fulfilled in the United States. So anyway, simply the original Israelites were African, and they were brought here as slaves for 430 years. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, and I'm running out of time, so I'll let you go. Bye-bye.